Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Why Caught Alive. Please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd, subscribe if you have not done so as yet, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. All right, y'all, there's going to be a super quick one, maybe 20 minutes or less, because it's almost time for me to clock in for work. Um, good morning to everybody that's in the yard. I saw all the tea in China in here first. Good morning, doll. How are you? My YouTube auntie, Miss Linda Gamble, and Miss CC. Good morning. And Miss Jones. Good morning to you all. Thank y'all for joining me in the yard. So y'all saw the title. I didn't have time to make a thumbnail. I'll probably make one later, but y'all saw the title. So first, let me start with Maurice and Marsau. So Marsau, y'all, in my opinion, has finally admitted to knowing about a intimate video that was going around of Melody. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, after my live ends, please go watch Chit Chat with QT's video from yesterday, where she shares a screenshot of this admission from Marsau. But what I'm going to say about that is this. The year before Melody took to her Instagram to confirm that there is a tape, but the tape is of her and her ex-husband, and all of that, if y'all remembered. The year before that, what happened on the reunion stage, y'all? The year before that was the year Marsau was on the reunion stage talking about they have a video of somebody's mama. Now, I could be off. I could be off, y'all. I could be off. But I don't think so. Because the year before Melody, went public and confirmed what Carson Blue had to say, I'm gonna just leave it at that. That was the same year that they were on that reunion stage talking about they had a tape of somebody's mama. Now, my question is this. Goes back to Carson Blue. Now, I know we all, including myself, applauded her for coming out and being truthful about what she knew um in terms of the Revenge P situation and the Revenge P plot. We were all, kudos to you. But now with Marsau saying what he said on his Facebook or on Facebook in that group, I'm going back to question, why were they pushing to bring Carson Blue around so much? Because if we go back to all of Carson Blue's live around that time, right? If we go back to Carson Blue's live videos from that time, she said to us that she only did Tisha's hair one time. So what communication issues were they having to the point where Carson Blue had to be at that intimate gathering of a tea party to try to work out hers and Tisha's communication issues. See, that part didn't make sense to me, but you know what? I didn't harp on it because, in the grand scheme of things, Martell was being exposed, right? And I'm just being truthful. But it didn't make sense. Wait, you only did her hair one time, but y'all were having communication issues? Okay. You only did her hair one time? Y'all weren't friends like that? But they have you in all these scenes for the show? It's making my mind work. And in my mind, I feel like the Tea Party was a setup, in my opinion, for Carson to expose that she knows some stuff about Melody, and not in the positive way that she did it on her Instagram live, but more so in a way to attack her. I feel like Tisha thought, in my opinion, I feel like Tisha thought that the Tea Party was going to be another situation where her and Melody were going to go at it. I feel like that's what Tisha planned for in her mind. But Melody wasn't on that type of time. Melody was about actually moving forward, having peace, needing when she's filming for the show to also be a peaceful time. So when they went to that tea party, it wasn't about attacking anybody or having arguments about the same things over and over. It was actually about resolving conflicts in a healthy way, which is why Tisha didn't get an opportunity to go at Melody in those scenes. And because of that, Carson being there fell flat, because now she can't just out of nowhere say to Melody, "Oh, you have all this ish to say, but there's a tape out there of you." You know what I mean? In my opinion, I'm not saying that's what it was, but the question still stands: who is the person, the woman that Marsau knew, that told him that they had this tape of Melody? Who is this woman that Marsau told, who was asking Marsau what they should do with this tape that they have? Who is this woman that Marsau told, hey, don't get involved in that stupid stuff? Eh, I don't think it's Ariane. And the only other woman we know of that ever spoke about this tape is Carson. But listen, it might be somebody else, child. It might be somebody else. But Carson, girl, if it's you, now more holes are being poked into your story, because you didn't say that you had the tape. You said you knew of it by virtue of Ariane telling you some stuff, but you didn't say you have it. So that makes me pause and say, well, maybe it's not Carson Blue. And from my research, y'all, even if, and I'm going to read the chat in a second, even if Martell never sent this video to anybody, even if he didn't send it to anybody, it is still Revenge P if he was showing it to people. And later I'm going to cite the source for that information. I don't have it now. So just walking around and showing it to people, it's still considered Revenge P. It's not just the act of sending it or disseminating it to the public that makes it revenge P. Also walking around showing people on your phone, oh, look at Melody, look at who she's. That's also revenge P. Just so y'all know, FYI. So now I'm very curious, y'all. I'm very curious. Because the year they sat on that reunion stage and said, oh, we got a tape of somebody's mama, that means y'all were in, sorry, y'all. The year they sat on that reunion stage and they said that they had a tape of somebody's mama, that means that somebody was sitting around watching somebody's mama in a very intimate moment, having access to an intimate video or picture that they should not have access to. So that's a problem. So, Marsau, I take my little two taps back of you talking about, you don't respect Martell. Because, truth be told, there's no respect for anybody who would know that there are people trying to send around an intimate image of a woman and they not give that woman a heads up. I don't have respect for those people either. You are just as bad. You are just as bad as the person who was trusted with that video. You're just as bad. Because the fact that you're saying that you knew of it a whole year before Carson Blue said anything, a whole year before Melody said anything, and y'all never said to Melody, hey, I know we are going through, a rough patch in our friendship, but I don't know what's going on, but somebody's out here saying that they got a tape of you. Now, I don't want to be involved, but I just felt like in good faith, I should let you know. And Melody would have done her big one from there. You didn't have to say anything else because the only tape Melody in that moment could put her finger on to say, well, that's the only tape that exists of me, would have been the one that she had with her ex-husband. So the fact that you sat on that information for a whole year, and then now you're saying, Marsau, that, oh, I didn't even believe it until Melody. You don't have to believe it. But the thing is, y'all believed it because you sat on that reunion stage and you said, yeah, we got a tape of somebody's mama. And the thing is, y'all thought that was funny. Y'all didn't know y'all were admitting to somebody doing something that was criminal. And guess what? Conveniently, that reunion clip is no longer on YouTube. But guess what? Those people on YouTube, that that post the entire episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know what y'all call those. Bootleg. The bootleggers here on YouTube that posts the entire episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Guess what? They have that clip. They have that clip. And I pinpointed one, and I'm going to screen record that part of it, and we're going to talk about it. Because what Marsau said is, I knew about this a year before Mel came out and said anything. The year before Mel said anything is the year that they sat on the reunion stage and said, we have a tape of somebody's mama. And we thought they were talking about Miss Van. But now I'm led to believe that it wasn't about Mama Van. And even if it was about Mama Van, still wrong. Still wrong. So this admission, Marsau, I hope it gets you a subpoena. I hope it gets you a subpoena. And I hope it gets the woman who supposedly told you about this tape. I hope it gets her a subpoena too for this ongoing case. Because now it has moved from just DV in the third harassing communication to actual revenge P. Because the fact that somebody outside of Martell has that video in their possession, the fact that somebody outside of Martell has seen that video, it makes it revenge P now. Let me read y'all's comments. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Hi, Steph. Do I think they all have known? Absolutely, but I don't believe in my heart of hearts that it was coleslaw. I don't see Marsau protecting her. Carson, on the other hand, I can see it, especially. That's what I'm saying. She's the only other woman we know of that has come out to say anything about this revenge peace situation. The only other woman. Could be Destiny, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Carson, you came out and you did a good thing when you admitted to what you knew. But now what Marsau is saying is totally different from what you came out to say. Marsau is saying a woman that I know said they had the video, is what Marsau said over there on Facebook. Y'all are trifling on that cast. The envy, the hate, the resentment, I don't know what it is that they have towards Melody, but y'all are trifling. These people on that cast, they are willing to sit and wait, obviously, in my opinion, until the most harm is done to Melody before they say something. And that's just some nasty, shisty work. That's some nasty, shisty work. It's crazy. Says, I know Mel was sick learning her ex-husband was showing a video of her in that position. They were looking at her face, knowing what they... It's crazy. And I think that is why Martell was like, Revenge P, where do you get that from? Because outside of what the police report says and the arrest record says and what he went to court for, I think Marsau knows more than he's saying. A woman had the tape and she's asking you, Marsau, what she should do with it. And your response is, don't get involved with that. Not, that's criminal, right? Where did you get it from? And let me hit up Mel. I know we're not in a good space, but I need to let her know, whether it's true or not, that somebody's out here talking about they got a tape of her. I am appalled. I'm appalled at how low down this cast is. There is nothing that Melody has done to any of these people that warrants how much they protect Martell, how much they don't stand up and tell him to his face that all the things that he's out here doing to this lady is wrong. There's nothing that Melody has done to any of them on that cast that warrants this type of behavior and the lack of empathy and the lack of protection that they show her. I asked Sonny Minks last night. I said, Sonny, since you've been a producer on that show and now as a cast member, have you heard any of the women on that cast ever ask Melody how her children are doing in the face of everything that's happening within their family dynamics today? And Sunny says she can't recall not one time any of those women have ever asked such a question. Not even on, not even during a moment where everybody has a downtime and they're just hanging out or whatever, no cameras. She said she can't recall any moment like that. None that stands out in her mind in a significant way, anyways. And I'm like, wow, because that's how it presents on the show, that they don't even they don't even care to ask her, how are the kids? And we're talking about mothers on that show. Mothers. That's sad. Outside of the little petty things that are happening on that show, the things that Melody is going through, she's going through in real life, camera or no camera. It's her real life. And there's no care and there's no protection whatsoever. It's crazy and it's sad. I don't think Marsau or Tisha, but they told the person to leave it alone and don't do anything stupid. That is okay for me, considering they're not Mel's friends and they don't even like her. I mean, I guess if that's what they told her. But my thing is, if we're going off of chronological order, a year prior to Melody saying anything about this tape is the same year that they sat on the reunion and said, we got a tape of somebody's mama, right? And then the following year, we have a tea party where the one person we know of who knows anything about this tape is now all of a sudden front and center in scenes. So I'm just saying, if we're looking at the chronological order of things, they might have told the person, don't do anything stupid, but they were also, in my opinion, willing to hold it over Melody's head. And that's nasty work, in my opinion. Said, I really think it was Carson. Have to read in between the lines. He never said that the person saw the video. He said that the person alerted that there was a video that existed. No, Chef, you need to go to Chit Chat with QT's video and see his response. See his response in the in the Facebook group, where he says that the person not only alerted him to a video existing, but the person said that they had the video and she asked him what she should do. That's what he said in the post. Go to Chit Chat with QT's post and come back and tell me what you think, Chef. Or if you have seen it already. Yeah, I don't think it was Destiny, honestly. Shoot, I don't even know, child. Either way, I don't know. This cast is dangerous to me, child. Their mindset is dangerous. That's what's dangerous. Their mindset, their willingness to just sit by and see all these things happening and not speak up because I don't like her, so it's whatever. That's what's dangerous to me. These are the type of people that sit around and they see all the red flags, and because they don't like a person, they don't say anything, and when something bad happens, they say, man, if I had known, I woulda, shoulda, coulda. But you saw all the signs. You chose not to speak up because of what? Some petty issues? Because let's be real, the issues they have with Melody, some tiny, tiny petty mess from years and years and years ago. Honestly. Maurice talking about, because of the things Melody has gone through, he has shown her grace. And I'm like, what grace have you shown Melody? What grace have you shown Melody? Melody barely talks to you. She barely talks to you. Maurice, honestly, you barely exist on the show. Kimmy exists on the show. Maurice, you don't. So I don't know what kind of grace you feel like you've extend to Melody, and why now all of a sudden the grace is gonna be gone because she's doing her job as a reality TV star, pushing the story along and asking questions about your DUI. Karen Huger, this whole season of Real Housewives of Potomac is her castmates asking her about her charges. Even over there on Real Housewives of OC, same thing. The Love and Marriage Huntsville cast, y'all, is one of the only reality TV cast who feel like they are above talking about their real life. And it's everybody excepting for Melody and Martell. Because let's be clear, the Melody and Martell storyline, it has been it has been the storyline that has kept the lights on over there at Love and Marriage Huntsville. But everybody else feels like it's just so unwarranted to ask me anything about my personal life on camera. But y'all spent how many seasons asking Melody about her personal life? I remember, I don't know if it was season 2 or season 3, but I remember Tisha popping up at Melody's house, um, and saying, "Oh, I had to come and check on Melody and to ask her what's going on with her and Martell because I saw some social media posts." Y'all remember that scene? I'm a repost it. I'm gonna repost it. I think it was during the time when Martell posted to Instagram, the countdown started 4 years ago or something like that. And they all made it their storyline. Everybody wanted to go and check in on Melody and ask Melody what's going on. And ask Melody if she's okay, as if what they were doing is not trying to get the tea. How many times have the men sat in scenes asking Martell, so what's going on with you and Melody? But all of a sudden, Melody is just this whole villain for asking Kimmy, how are you doing emotionally considering what the streets are saying about your husband and his DUI? That's a part of the reality TV landscape, baby. She didn't do anything different than what her other castmates have done to her the entire time they've been on the show. Like, let's be for real. As Candace Dillard says, the line is always moving, child. And whenever it comes to Melody, the fans and the cast, they move the goalpost. Because we're gonna act like we haven't seen these people ask Melody the most intimate of questions about her life on camera since season 1. But now it's a big deal because she's asking Kimmy some questions. Somebody please make that make sense for me. Please, somebody, make that make some sense. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm organizing my classroom while I'm talking to y'all, so I'm not even looking at the chat. Um, what chef? What? When I get to make it seem like it was Melody. I, I have thoughts on that, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't wanna get one of them late night cease and desist. Not even late night, child. Early morning. Now let me talk about So Gucci real quick. Because if y'all have been watching my videos enough, y'all know that So Gucci is my fave over there on Bell Collective. And the reason why So Gucci is my fave is because I've always felt like she is the realist on the cast. She has some moments where, she can work on some things, but in terms of the cast, I just always feel like everybody's acting. I don't know. I just always feel like they're putting on, and she's one of the only ones who just come across as being very natural on camera, and so I like her energy. Um, but anyways, last night during Messy Mr. Mondays, so Gucci let Carlos King know that she felt disrespected. She felt she didn't feel protected because they knew that she had a protective order in place against Selena. And the producers basically, were doing some shady ish to make sure that Selena was filming in scenes with So Gucci. Right now, I don't really understand that protective order based on some things that were also said um, in the confessionals. But either way, I was glad that she brought up the point of feeling unprotected. Because in the same way that they know that Melody has a no contact order in place against Martell, and they had the audacity to tell, in my opinion, the producers said to Destiny, prompted her to, invite Melody. Invite Melody. Oh, you don't have her number? Well, have Kimmy call her. And Destiny agreed to that. Where's the protection? I get wanting storylines, but at some point, they got to understand not every storyline is worth exploring. And even the thought, even to have the thought to say, let's invite Melody when we know Martell is going to be there, nasty work. Nasty, nasty, nasty work. Now, D, I love you, girl, but not too much on So Gucci now. Not too much on my girl now. Oh my God. But I appreciated her saying what she said to Carlos, and he got big mad, child. The video is private. The video is private. But shout out to Show Styles and Spirit, who had the screen recording. And we are going to compare and contrast. If he ever puts that video back up, makes that video public, we are going to compare what was taken out of that video. Because So Gucci said what she said. The lady said she didn't even know Selena was joining the cast. Now Carlos likes to play semantics. And semantics is, well, she was going to be filming. It's the same thing Aikisha said. We understood that yes, she was going to be filming some scenes, but we didn't know she was going to be a full on Belle. Okay? We didn't know that in my opinion, that So Gucci would have to be in scenes with this woman who assaulted her. Maybe film some scenes with Latrice, yes, to talk about, whatever happened last season and so forth. But becoming a whole Belle, ain't nobody knew that. And that's what Aikisha said. And here comes So Gucci basically confirming that she didn't realize that Selena was a part of the cast until she saw Latrice post pictures from the baby shower. And she was like, wait, they're filming the baby shower? What's going on? And that's how she found out that Selena had joined the cast. And you know that there's a protective order in place, and you don't tell the woman who the protective order is there to protect that, listen, she's going to be full-time cast. This is what we're thinking. This is what's going to happen. Talking about, oh, there were security, and we respected boundaries and whatnot. Respecting boundaries would be ensuring that they don't film together until their family drama is sorted. And by the time they were filming those scenes, things had not been sorted out. And I'm glad that So Gucci said, listen, the show is not what helped us all to get to a better place. We had to come to that mindset for the girls and for the grandbabies. Because in real life, So Gucci has said she ain't got no issue with Selena. And Selena said she don't got no issue with So Gucci. I think the problem lies with JJ. That's where the problem lies. We see it playing out on the show where So Gucci's like, yeah, I feel like I need to have a conversation with Selena, blah blah blah, and JJ's like, no, I don't even want y'all in the same space, da 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 da, and now she has to what, respect her husband's wishes. Neither So Gucci or Selena are the problem, in my opinion. And so I'm glad that So Gucci clocked it. She felt unprotected, and she let him know the show is not what got us to a better place. What my family and I are going through is real life. It's not for your entertainment. Now, So Gucci, I don't think you go come back for next season, baby. I don't think you're gonna come back for the next season. Mm-mm. Cause he was big mad to the point where the video went private. So you went out strong. You dropped the mic. You definitely dropped the mic, honey. You definitely dropped the mic. Let me see if I can read. Yeah, JJ's deaf. He's been the problem since the time that they were on what you call that show, Bring It. If I am living with a man, I am his partner, and he's on a whole TV show acting as if I honestly thought that JJ was single the whole time I was watching Bring It. Okay? That's what I thought. I thought he was single. I don't remember ever hearing of So Gucci or anything like that. I can't recall. I can't recall ever hearing about her during the time I used to watch Bring It, right? He looked like they would flirt, him and Selena, they would flirt a lot, right? They would flirt a lot on that show. Uh, you can convince me then that that man had a woman. So to find out that he had a whole situation at home, a whole fiance, I can see. I mean, she's human. She's a human being. I can see some hurt feelings there. But also, it's not Selena's fault. And that's why I say, even though I like So Gucci, there are things that I feel like she can work on. And the truth is, the way JJ presented himself on Bring It was disrespectful to his living partner at the time. It was disrespectful. And I can just imagine you being at home, you're the one taking care of the girls, and everybody else is on TV and you're on the back burner. I can see how that would be hurtful. I could see how that would be hurtful. And now you have this opportunity to be the star over here on Bell Collective. And this woman is still showing up. She couldn't even give you a 3 seasons, 4 seasons to be the star. You were barely mentioned over there on Bring It. Barely mentioned over there on Bring It. And now you're on a show where you're at the forefront. You are one of the stars, and you can't even have that to yourself. I could see how that would be hurtful. Now, so Gucci ain't ever gonna admit all of that. I mean, I wouldn't admit to any of that either. But she's a human being, and I can see from a psychological and emotional standpoint how all of that could be hurtful. But it's not Selena's fault, right? All of that is on JJ. He should have figured out in any way that he could. He should have figured out how to make sure that the woman he's living with, the woman who is washing his dirty drawers, the woman who is cooking and feeding him and helping him to take care of his daughters, he should have figured out a way to make sure that she was seen over there on Bring It. And Carlos wants us to believe that Heavenly stopped doing the show because of the millimeter. Nobody believes that. The only people who believe that are the raindrops and the hellish followers. They're the only people, and the mellow haters. The only people who believe that are those people. I've shown the receipts of Heavenly saying that she got to get off of YouTube because Damon wants her to get off of YouTube because of what she said about Dr. G. When she had made that post about Dr. G, the next the next day, well, the I don't remember the time frame. Let's say maybe like the next week or so. It was a weekend. I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday. She posted to her Twitter that y'all they told on me and daddy said I got to get off of YouTube. And then a few months after that she came back and said, "Okay, we going to be on over there on Patreon." So it's like, which is it, Heavenly? Did they tell on you to daddy and you had to get off of YouTube, or was it the millimeters? And I feel like the first part is the actual truth. Damon told you to get off of YouTube. And also, Heavenly did not want to do reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville, in my opinion. That was never her plan. She wanted to review Married to Medicine with Carlos. That's it. But because her and Carlos did such a, I guess in Heavenly's mind, was such a good team in doing the Married to Medicine reviews, they felt like they helped to make the show get more popular or whatever the case may be. I think Carlos was like, listen, if I'm going to help you review Married to Medicine, then you got to come over here and help me review my show. That's what I think happened. Heavenly always said, I didn't really watch it. I don't really know what's happening. But from the clips, she wasn't watching the show. Heavenly did not want to review Love and Marriage Huntsville. She wanted to review Married to Medicine, and that's it. So in Heavenly's mind, it's like, dang, my show is not even filming. My show is not even on, and I gotta spend all my Mondays over here reviewing this show with people who are getting arrested every second, with a man, with a woman who got a husband and a boyfriend. And the husband is saying that the boyfriend pull a pow pow on him, and I don't know what's going on with these people, and all these people are getting arrested, and this man is arrested for deviant. It's too much. That's what I think happened there. After that, after that live with Marquez, after that live with Marquez, Heavenly was on some. Listen, I I don't even watch the show for real, for real. I don't know what people got going on. I don't want to be a part of messing with anybody's family dynamics, so I'm not going to review Love and Marriage Huntsville anymore, for real, for real. That's what she said. That's what she said. But now the narrative has to be it's the millimeters because it matches with the storyline of the show. I think that was the last solid she did for Carlos. She's like, listen, I don't really want to, in my opinion, and Carlos, I don't really want to review this show for real, for real. Like, honestly, I just wanted to review Married to Medicine, not Love and Marriage Huntsville. But guess what? I'm going to do you a solid. What do you want me to tell the people? And he probably said, in my opinion, okay, here's what you do. Make it seem like it was a certain fan base that made you quit. And Heavenly has no issues with lying. She lies so much that she was like, okay, I can do that for you, Carlos. In my opinion, that's what happened. I'm speculating for all the people who like sending middle of the morning cease and desist. I'm speculating. And that's how I see it. That's how I see it. Y'all, I'm so behind in this chat. I don't even know if I can read through everything. So I'm not even gonna try. I apologize. But thank you all for being here. Oh, it's 3 minutes. I'm a clock in late. Um, but thank you all for being here. Chef, what time are you going live? If you're still in here. But thank you all the T in China, Linda Gamble, Miss Jones, American Born, Santa, who says they're a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. D. Herford, K. Hayes, Miss Sharon, thank you for being here. Special K, Ines Martin, Nanny of the Maroons, JMD. Now, JMD, does that mean Jamaican dollars? Tamika, Miss Cece, Chef Don Don, who I'm sure is about to go live anytime now. April, October. Haven't seen you here in a minute, love. Hi. Corvette, Girl for Life. Is that for real, Corvette? Like, that's what you like? That's the car that you like? Anitra J, Beautiful Eyes. Going down, Simply Beautiful. Yemena. Well, you said Divine Rising. I like that. I like that. Simply Beautiful, Taisha J, thank you for being here. Pisces Life. Ooh, we're going down, y'all. We're going down. Toot Latrice, good morning. And let me see if there's anybody else in the yard that I didn't shout out. Miss Main Event. Tia P. Oh Lord, I was really behind in this chat. And Cadaver Dog. Okay. That's a cute name. I sometimes wonder like how y'all choose your names. Because I went through a whole thing to choose mine. But thank you all for being in the yard. And thanks to everybody that was tuning in. If you had to listen in the bushes because you're at work, like I'm about to go clocking now. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I will see y'all in these YouTube streets somewhere, probably in Chef Don Don's chat or over there with Kicking It with Courtney. I will see y'all. All right, y'all. Bye.